Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm back here at the trading hall very briefly to update you on the status of things. Wow, the sheer amount of workstation noises that goes on whenever these guys refresh their trades is super cool. Anyway, for those of you who are a little bit worried about my villagers not being able to refresh their trades because of workstation problems and that kind of stuff, do not worry because I have now, as you can see, got a bunch of librarians opposite these cartographers over here. I think the key seems to be to make sure that we don't have similar professions opposite each other. So right now I've got this whole row of cartographers along here, and all of them, as far as I can tell, have been able to reset their trades just fine. I've been trading with a bunch of them, some of whom I have zombified and cured a couple of times just to get that glass pane trade down to a single pane per emerald. That's super good. That's actually a really OP trade. If you trade 4 pieces of glass from these librarians for an emerald, you can sell it back to these guys super cheap and you get a ton of emeralds out of that. So it's almost as broken as the bookshelf to book trade with librarians, but it seems like having them set up like this is going to be the best thing to do going forward. And so when I set up a few more librarians over there, I'm going to make sure that these guys have blocked line of sight to them. So maybe we'll have to do something about these staircases and change things up a little bit, or just put up a decent wall somewhere that's going to make sure they can't spot the workstations from this distance. But it seems like we are now ready to move in a few more of the other villager professions, and around the corner here I also have a couple of farmers in what's probably going to be the farming alley down here, and I've got to make sure that they've got enough light down here because, yeah, as I'm replacing stuff, I'm taking out torches here and there. But these guys have potato trades, they have beet trades, and they'll sell you bread. I have a few more melon and pumpkin farm designs that I plan to do. We have the Ravager-powered crop farm that we built in yesterday's episode, and there are a few other things that I can trade with, I don't know, like butchers and leather workers and stuff like that we can create automated farms for coming up in the next little while. So today I'm not going to worry too much about the villager trading hall because I've been doing a bit more work on this off camera, and instead we're going to continue raid week. Today I'm going to get a certain type of revenge on the pillagers who have been plaguing me in recent days, especially considering how much I've been messing around with these villagers. Pillagers have kind of been the bane of my life for a while. They killed a cartographer who was out here a while ago, and I want to kill them with kindness. I feel like pillagers need to be treated the same as anybody else, really. They don't deserve to be shot with crossbows and thrown into lava. Instead, we're going to try and teach these pillagers to be a little bit more friendly. We're going to make some pacifist pillagers today, and some of you folks in the comments have been asking me to do this for a little while, especially since you've probably seen it in other people's videos here and there, so I'm looking forward to taking this on. Today we are going to make some pillagers friendly. And in order to do this, we're going to take advantage of a singular trait that the pillagers have over any other type of mob wielding a weapon like the iconic crossbow that pillagers have, and a few of them are showing up already. This is not how we're going to turn them friendly at all. This is how I'm going to take out these ones who are messing with me right now so I can monologue to you guys about what the episode is going to be about. No, the pillagers' crossbows can actually break, which is unlike any other mobs in the game. You'll notice that skeletons' bows never run out of durability, and they don't seem to run out of arrows ever. I've never tolerated the presence of a skeleton for long enough to see whether they run out of arrows, but I'm pretty sure in terms of like the code of the game, they do seem to have an infinite supply. Pillagers, on the other hand, their crossbows can run out of durability and break in much the same way as they would in the hands of a player. And what that does is it renders them basically unable to attack, because they are only coded to attack from range. They won't pathfind up to you and attempt to hit you. Instead, they will become completely passive, and I like the idea of this. This is actually kind of a fun thing, and it is all down to a bug in the current version of Minecraft Java Edition. Java 1.14.4 has this issue, and I'm fairly certain it is going to be corrected in future editions of the game. However, in the meantime, I hope to use it to my advantage and do something with these friendly pillagers, because it's kind of cool to have them as a thing in the game. I do want to maybe bring a friendly pillager over to the museum project I've mentioned in previous videos, and it occurs to me that we could use this as an opportunity to populate the town of Founders Forge, because people have wanted me to put villagers in there for the longest time, and I have more recently started saying that I'm not going to do it because I'm worried about pillager raids happening in the town and raid mobs running wild and damaging some of the stuff that I have built, like Ravagers trampling crops that I've placed or breaking custom trees and that kind of thing. But what if instead we populated it entirely with friendly pillagers? And pillagers will still act as a threat to villagers as far as I'm aware. Like, they will not integrate into villager society. Villagers will still be scared of them. If villagers are scared in a group, then they produce an iron golem. The iron golem will probably still attack a friendly pillager because it still technically thinks of the pillager mob as a threat, regardless of whether or not they have any weapons on them at the time. But I feel like it'd be kind of fun just to have a few pillagers around, almost as though they were the population of Founder's Forge. Keep them inside houses if we wanted to, but just have them around as a non-violent mob. I would like that a great deal. So today we're going to quickly go over the method of how to make these pillagers passive, and then we're going to convert a bunch of them to our team. Now, step one is going to be to stock up on name tags, and that is where my troop of librarians is going to be incredibly useful, because a lot of these guys have their name tag traits unlocked. Right now I'm getting a name tag for 15 emeralds out of most of these. Most of them have just been zombified once, so I don't think I'm going to get much of a better trade than that out of any of them. Yeah, 15 seems to be the going rate for a name tag. So, of course, we will need a whole bunch of these. I'm going to say we'll stick with maybe 12. I think that seems like a decent amount of pillagers to pacify, and I reckon that will get us a decent population to start off with, at least, over at Founder's Forge. We're going to name all of these pillagers Friend, although we are going to change some of the name tags later. Of course, we could always rename them whenever we want to, but it's just going to be fun to have something that we can slap onto them at a moment's notice. And the cool thing about name tagging mobs is, for a start, it removes the mobs from the mob cap, meaning that other mobs of that type can spawn without them contributing to the total number of mobs in the world and reducing the spawn rates. The other thing about name tags is that they prevent mobs from despawning. So those are clearly mobs you want to keep hold of. The game knows that, and it will not despawn them naturally by you getting a certain distance away. The only thing that can really kill them is you as a player, or natural causes, whether it's an iron golem that comes to attack them, or they wander into lava, or they drown, or something like that. So by name tagging some pillagers, we are basically going to guarantee that we're keeping those boys around for the long haul. The next thing we're going to need is some snow layers, because snow layers are actually really useful for stuff like this. You can pile them up in a set like that, so you can have a kind of controllable height, although yes, they do end up melting when they are close to block light, so I need to be a little bit aware of that. I'm hoping that I will still be able to place these over in the desert. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but with snow layers, what you have is something that you can control the height of, allowing you to layer up a few layers of snow in front of a villager so that the pillagers can still see them, but when they fire, which they do from around the middle of the mob, they will actually hit the snow layer while they're aiming at the villager. It's kind of an interesting process, and I'll show you a little bit more of it once we get over there. So naturally, the best place to do this is going to be back here at the pillager watchtower, and we already have a villager here who we can use kind of as bait to bait the pillagers into shooting at him, and ultimately they will be unsuccessful in this, I hope. I haven't quite tried this yet, so it's going to be a first time for all of us figuring this out. But ultimately, we can set this guy up in a similar glass box to this one, but one that's a little bit closer to the ground, and we can set it up so that the pillagers are firing directly at the villager, but there are going to be snow layers in front of him protecting him from the arrows. That is the plan, at least. Now, it's time to let this guy out and see what he can do. Now, to make sure we can lure the pillagers over here in a controlled fashion, I think I'm probably going to set the villager up on this side of the river so that we can maybe have the pillagers just kind of wander over here. And we're going to use 5 snow layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. 5 on that side, 5 on this side here as well, and we'll probably put 5 behind him as well. And I think on the corners, just to be safe, I will build up another layer of glass like that so they can only really hit him from a direct cardinal direction, just in a straight line, basically. Once I've gathered up the rest of the glass from this chamber, I'll be able to use that as well. But for now, let's take him out of here. Let's send him off on his way into the little chamber over there, and that is where this villager is going to be staying. We will make him a little bit more secure in just a moment, because I'm fairly certain none of the pillagers are crossing the river just yet. Now he's in there in the minecart, we're going to be covering that up, placing a few more snow layers like so, and making sure this corner is all filled in. And then, of course, we'll need to make sure that he's safe from any attacks that might come from above as well, so we'll cover him in this glass box entirely. And our little farmer in there is probably going to just be chilling in there for the next little while. He's got some snow in there if he needs a drink in the hot desert sun inside this little greenhouse we've made for him. But now we should be able to lure pillagers over here, and hopefully when they attempt to shoot at this villager, which they will probably try and do from range, but if we can get them a little closer, that will be better. They will try and shoot at the villager who they think they can see through here, but the majority of their arrows should miss. In fact, hopefully all of the arrows should miss, otherwise this villager is going to be in deep trouble very quickly. And at some point in the process, whether it's to get them over here in the first place or to take them away afterwards once they have been pacified, I have a bunch of powered rails and a shulker box full of minecarts. So the fruits of this previous project are also going to be reused here in the application of getting ourselves some passive pillagers. We will see how this goes, my friend, but the sun is going down and I will probably have to go and find myself a bed, so bear with me while I do that. Thankfully, there's a bed over here where we left Pebbles yesterday. Hello, Pebbles, how are you? I'll probably come back and do a little bit more crop farming in the near future, but for now, we have other things to take care of. Let's see if we can get ourselves some pillagers over here and have them attack this villager. I tell you guys what would be really funny is getting a passive patrol captain. I assume that can be done. I haven't seen it done as far as I remember, but I have a feeling it could be done, and that would be an absolute score. That would be so funny. So I'm going to try my best to set up some kind of circuit here where a minecart could go back and forth in much the same way that we had the setup for the Ravagers the other day. And let's see if we can't get some of these pillagers to end up in a minecart over here. We'll start with this guy as a quick test. He's definitely walked over the tracks already. Let's see if we can get this guy into this minecart just by him following me around a little bit. I'm walking into the lion's den slightly, but nope, there we go. We got him nice and easily. Okay, well, let's see. Aha, we've got the patrol captain here as well. All right, let me get a minecart for you. I got him in the minecart. Okay, let's push him down and across the bridge, and let's hope, let's hope that he takes aim at the villager over there. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try and fight off the rest of these guys so I have a little bit of a clearer path to check out what's happened with the patrol captain now. Going to make my way slowly away from here. I probably look an absolute pincushion right now, but hey, let's see how that pillager captain has fared over here by the villager. Oh no! Oh, it looks like he's despawned, of course, because we didn't name tag him and he probably got too far away from us. Oh well, we will have another try at that. The villager seems fine. To his credit, he seems like he's okay. Look at me though. I certainly don't look okay. I think there's an arrow at my nose. All right, let's lure in another captain. Let's see if we can get him in that minecart over there. We've got a guy with a banner. Yes, he's in the cart. Okay, let's take care of his cohorts here, and we should be able to name tag that guy before we send him across the river. All right. This is looking good. This is looking great. All right, this guy is going to be our first friend, and hopefully that should mean he does not despawn from now on. And as long as we can get close enough to him to push him onto this rail, like so. Yes, there we go. He's off across the river, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results of this. This is going to be really funny. He should come to a stop right by this villager's booth over here, and now if we hide ourselves from him, he should just be able to wear out his crossbow firing at the villager. Might need to align him a little bit more with the villagers just so he can see that the villager is there. Might even need to take him out of the minecart, but for now, I want to back off a little bit and see if he is still tracking me or if he does seem to be interested in the villager. I'm not certain that he's firing, though. Oh, okay, no, he is firing at me. Okay, I'm going to see what I can do around the outside of here using sand blocks to limit his line of sight, so he's only looking at the villager, and we can put him in a kind of booth here. Let's wheel him in there a little bit, okay, and let's try and block him in as best we can so that he's only looking towards the villager. My other concern is that we are going to have to break him out of the minecart, which might need a little bit more trickery here. All right, I'm going to put a block of terracotta above his head, like so, and he definitely should be able to see the villager from there, but he is not right now. So I'm going to try my best to get him out of this minecart without having him come up onto this block here. Let's see if this works. Oh no, he has. Okay, right. Let's try and push him back down into the hole then, and let's get something over his head. Literally anything at this point. There we go. Redstone block. All right. Now he should be up, and he should be directly facing the villager. And it does seem like he is shooting at the villager, but he is not hitting the villager in any way. So that is actually perfect. That is precisely what we want, and it does seem like that's going to be the thing we need to do going forward. That's going to change the method a little bit then, because in that case we all need to have a bunch of pods around the villager like so, and each one of these should have a pillager in it firing directly towards the villager. But as you can see there, he is just unloading arrows into the snow, and none of them are reaching the villager at all. We could always potentially bring some splash potions of healing if you're not confident that the villager is going to survive if they end up getting a couple of shots on target, but at this range, I really don't think he's going to. While he is unloading arrows, I might as well go back to the village over here and get myself a few more building blocks, because I neglected to bring too many of those, and I think I will need some of them in the near future. In the meantime, I'm going to come back over here and see if I can tag myself another pillager. There's certainly plenty of them in the surrounding area, so let's see if we can get one of them to walk over our little minecart trap here once again. That's it, buddy. Come this way, get into the minecart. Yes, perfect. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna need to go and repair my bow shortly, but hopefully we should be able to capture a couple more of these guys in the meantime. We need to tag you as a friend, but get on the rail first so I can follow you and hopefully get away from the rest of these guys who are threatening to turn me into a human porcupine once again. And once this guy gets around the corner, he should go up and over, and yep, he's gone in the minecart into this little cell over here where we can remove him from the minecart like so, take out this block and put it above his head, and then all we'll need to do is remove that block, and now this villager has 2 pillagers shooting at him. Isn't that lovely? There's a third and a fourth seem to be crossing the river, of course. We might even be able to drag them a little bit closer and trap them over here like that, but right now I'm mostly concerned about making sure that these first 2 pillagers end up getting friendly. We do need to tag the second one, which I still haven't done with this next name tag, so let me quickly pop my head around here, tag that guy, and make sure the villager doesn't get shot. Perfect. Okay, let's wait around for a little while, though. I think it is probably time to test our theory of pillager pacification, and hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing happens to this villager to hurt him in any way. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it, and it really didn't take all that long. I am surprised at how little time it took for these pillagers to break their crossbows. It took me about as long as it took to edit about half of the first section of this video, so I'd say that was maybe about 10 minutes. And look at these guys. He is just wandering around without a crossbow, getting stuck on the lines like they normally do, and having an absolute whale of a time. Now, we are, of course, going to have to trap him in a minecart once again. It was perhaps a little bit premature of me to get this guy out of the minecart so soon, but it occurs to me that we can now just put him in a boat and row him around, because he's not going to attack me anymore at such close range. Unfortunately, I don't have any wood on me, so I'm going to have to take advantage of the fact that he seems kind of chill right now. Is he also going to try and, like, pathfind towards me as though he had a crossbow? I'm not certain what their behavior is like after this, but I can probably walk up behind him like that and just nudge him onto land, and then we'll use some rails to trap him in a specific place, and hopefully we should be able to nudge him over the top of these rails. They really don't like walking on rails, mobs, do they? All right, let's get you back in the cart again. There you go. And now we can take this guy wherever we want. Same with the one in the adjacent little lodging over here. We will just break up the rails here temporarily so that we can take him out of here and along a track, because obviously if we put a minecart down here, just going to be able to roll into that corner and we'll be able to grab him. I'll just check that he is in. Yep, he is in this corner, so all we should need to do is roll a minecart into the corner like so, and oh, he's not quite getting in there. Maybe it's not quite intersecting with his hitbox. I need to sleep real fast just in case any other mobs come out. But look at them. They're just kind of sat there. It's so bizarre, and from what I can tell, the patrol captain is still proudly wearing his banner, so that's very, very interesting. All right, let's try and replace this block here with, okay, a rail. Sure, you are fine being on that rail, apparently. Okay, he is out and going for a wander. I really need to make sure that this guy stays with us. I need to go and grab some wood so that we can row them down the river, because all we should need to do, really, is row them down this river towards the village. We can take them through the nether portal, and then we can get them back home to Founder's Forge. But this guy, the patrol captain, seems quite keen on crossing the river right now. I don't know if I dare go back to the village and risk him getting into the pillager watchtower radius. Is he going to come back this way now? I really hope that he does. Hopefully we can get it. Yes, there we go. He is back on land. He is in the minecart. These two guys are primed to be transported elsewhere. And the coolest thing about them, compared to how the Ravagers were the other day, is that I can walk up to these guys and push them around in a minecart. And oh, it's so nice, because they do not hurt you in the slightest. He's a friend. Look at our friend. Look at our little lad. Oh, amazing. All right, let's let's get these guys back to the village. We'll try and get them through the nether portal. And while I do want to get a bunch of these guys pacified so they can populate the town of Founder's Forge, I think we will start with these two today, and we'll do a few more a little bit later, because it's a lot of work. It does take a fair amount of time, and if we wanted to pacify all 12 of them today, yeah, that seems like a lot of effort and a lot of time. And naturally, it may occur to you that if you don't have a pillager watchtower within range of where you want friendly pillagers to be, and if you don't feel like dragging them all through the nether in minecarts and so forth, you could always start a raid and do what we did with the Ravagers yesterday. Start a raid, end the raid prematurely by breaking a villager's workstation, and then just use all of the pillagers that you have around you. You could even use the same villager for that end if you wanted to. Might take a little bit of doing and a little bit of practice, but this villager has been pretty safe in here the entire time. He does not seem fazed by the experience at all, so with any luck, we should be able to get a setup where we could do this more permanently, as long as we stay in this version of Minecraft, because obviously in the next version, that's going to be patched. The friendly pillagers will be no longer, but they shouldn't regain their weapons. I don't think they're going to have their weapons added back into them retroactively. So with any luck, these guys will stay passive virtually forever. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try and get this guy out of the minecart here, and we're going to put him in a boat and get in the boat. Yes, there we go. And hopefully we can row down the river with a pillager captain in a boat. I never thought I would see the day. Look at this. This is actually pretty incredible. And he's like, we've got a sail for our ship now. We are flying the flag of the Pillager Patrol, and it is kind of glorious. I'm going to be honest. I am liking this a great deal. The next step, of course, is going to be getting them back to Founder's Forge through the nether, which is going to be a little bit tricky, but I reckon we can do it. We'll probably have to carve a channel through the river here just so I can make it to the other side. My one concern right now is suffocating this guy in a block accidentally or something like that, so I'm going to do my very best to make sure that this whole river is made up of water sources and that I'm not displacing any of that as I go and causing this guy to drift off into a block nearby and suffocate. So let's just repair the river a little bit here and we'll be on our way. We should just about be approaching the village once we round a couple of curves in the river here. This river is actually quite long, goes through the desert for a little while. Yes, there it is. There it is, folks. We are here. So all we should need to do is set up a couple of minecarts that will take us up to that nether portal and then figure out how to get the pillager back through the nether, avoiding any ghast fireballs and so forth, of course, and then back to Founder's Forge. What a journey! What a journey with a pillager captain and, of course, our other friend, who I've not forgotten. He is back here, and we've got a boat ready for him as well. Yes, we do. Have I mentioned how bizarre this is at any point? Because this is absolutely bonkers. Just the fact that I've got a pillager in the boat with me, and he's totally fine with this. It's so good. All right, I will probably do a bunch of this off camera because it's just going to be the usual sorts of stuff. Placing blocks, placing rails, getting these guys back to Founder's Forge, and I feel like that's going to be a long and laborious process that I will not put into this video because we've spent long enough blathering about these guys and getting up to hijinks. But I will see you guys on the other side in Founder's Forge, where hopefully we should be able to install our two new friends in their very own new houses. And at long last, they are here. One of them seems a little bit more tentative than the other one, but the other one is already making his way out into the castle here at Founder's Forge, and I'm not sure quite how well he's going to be received by the townsfolk, but there aren't really any townsfolk right now. In fact, I think this guy is the townsfolk now. That's kind of weird, but we will see. Hopefully his friend can be coaxed out of the nether portal here, and yeah, he does seem to want to explore a little bit. I've tried to section off some of the dungeon. No, don't go back through to the nether, mate. I'm just trying my hardest here not to have him go back through the nether portal and not to go back through the nether portal myself while I'm at it. But no, you can come down here and we'll try and at least block off the nether portal so he doesn't feel like he wants to go back in there for the moment. And we can see what they do, what they explore, and if we want to put them in a specific place, it's just a matter of getting boats or minecarts or something out and then driving them over to the place where we want them to take up residence. Maybe these guys could be here in the inspection hall, sat in minecarts checking through goods. Maybe one of them could actually be the blacksmith who lives in the automatic smeltery house that we have over here. Maybe a couple of them could live in houses in the town. One of them could be the tavern, keep at the Foxhead pub, and we can bring over a whole bunch more friendly pillagers to populate the town with. I hope you guys like this idea, because I'm actually kind of a big fan of this now. I've been putting off doing this for a little while, and it just seemed like the time was right. So if you guys have any suggestions for what we could do with these guys, what their names could be, we can name tag them anything else in the world. They don't have to be name tagged friend forever, but for now, I think I'll just try and put them in boats here in the castle grounds just so they can be secure and so we know they're not going to get in too much trouble, walk into the ravine and have to be rescued from there or something like that. They do seem to want to walk around though, which is kind of cute, and I like the fact that they are at least here. That is going to be it for this episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, suggestions in the comments for what to do with these guys would be greatly appreciated. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like on this episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.